Forever. Dog.
Yes. Welcome back to Very That, a brand new episode of Very That. I am Delta.
And I'm Raja, and you're very that.
Very, 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 very that. Ooh.
Come on, come on, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Ow.
Ay, wait.
Very that.
She's so bad.
Oh, honey.
But why is she so very that?
Very that, very that.
We are, again, somehow, we're both sort of in this loungy thing today. Like, we don't normally, again, we don't talk about what we're going to wear. We just kind of put on what we can wear that's sort of like boobs up, because that's all that you're going to see.
Totally.
But you're kind of in a caftan, and I'm sort of in a lounging set.
Well, that's because I'm still in Mexico, and honestly, I borrowed this from my. I'm staying with a really good friend of mine, Mama Tits, who I mentioned.
Everybody
probably
knows legendary Mama Tits.
Yes, of Seattle, now here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. But she, I was like, I need something to wear, and she's like, sis, you have to wear this. Sis, mom, sis, put this on. So I put this on, and I just happened to have this orange wig with me. So you know what? I like that. I just want to pay homage to that old fucking fresh out of the bag bob. I think they're fabulous.
I do too. The thing I like about the bob is that you can wear it, like you say, just as is, or you can really personalize a bob to where people. I was wearing that pink wig a while ago, and some people commented like, "Oh, I didn't know you did human wigs sometimes." And it's not a human wig, but if you razor it properly and you get it just to hit you where you need it to hit you, my God, it can look human. You can do so many things with it. So I love that too.
Yeah. And it's really these colors are really pulling out my tan because I went on a boat the other day. I decided to lengthen my stay here in PV for another week just because I'm already here. I'm terrified of flying still.
Right.
And I'm already here, so I might as well just what the fuck else am I gonna do at home? It's like,
why not?
Yeah, the food is fucking awesome here. I've been isolating. I haven't really done as much as people think on a vacation or as much as people would do in a place like this, because I just kick it with my friends at their house. So, but I did get a good tan, so don't and it matches my hand. So fuck off, everyone who would like. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. Anyway,
you're not gonna go there.
No, I'm not gonna go there.
Sis, you're not gonna go there, sis?
Sis, no, I'm not gonna discuss my skin color or the fact that my people of Indonesia are jungle Asians and we do come melanated. So that's just my point, and I'm just gonna go there with it, and that's about it.
It's funny you say that, because I sometimes I go on Instagram Live and I'll get in drag and I'll chit chat, and I started doing that in the beginning of the pandemic, and I did it more often in the beginning, and then somebody commented, and I was wearing like a honey blonde wig. I had done something, a digital thing as Adele. I do that sort of impersonation sometime, a tribute to that. And I seriously had people jump in and they were like, "You look," this is the words, "Sis, you look cute, but you're looking a little too white these days. Still love you, but you should keep to your roots."
Like,
what does that mean?
Fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
Stay off of it. It's,
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, because when I impersonate any of the characters that I either tribute or actually impersonate or any of that, I never change my foundation color. My foundation colors, and I don't think you have to change. I think it's unacceptable to be in blackface, of course. But I think it's not necessary to tribute an artist and have to change your skin tone in order to do it. I don't think that's necessary, and I think it's quite a slap. And I think if people know what you're doing, but I've had a few people do that, and that's where that's why earlier I was like, sis, because we never really call each other sis, even though we are in fact very, very close.
We are in fact cis. Like when people use the term cis, it means, sister. I mean, I've known you for a long fucking time.
I mean,
you are my sis.
Before I was doing drag. I mean, you've seen me in every incarnation at my absolute best, at my absolute worst. And it's just interesting to me when people, because, we know that we all know this. And you talked about what is it? That documentary about the social experiment or whatever. People have gotten so comfortable with saying, well, here's my Instagram account, so let me go ahead and start judging everybody. Let me tell everybody what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, because I saw a video about it, so I know what it is to do makeup, and I know what it is to do this and that. And they like, and I feel like cis has become the new, no, sweetie, no, honey, no, honey.
Bless
Because
your heart.
if you're calling me sweetie, sweetheart, or honey, it's gonna be. I know what you're doing is gonna be offensive. If you're like, ooh, bitch, then bitch is not the insult that maybe other people think it is. That's just in my mind and in my realm and the people I'm around. But when I have somebody half my age coming up to me talking about, no, sweetie, what are we doing with these brows, darling? No, sweetie. I'm like, oh my goodness, please. I have to retract my arm and put it back in my pocket because I'm like, I want you to feel every one of these knuckles so bad across the bridge of your nose. But I'm like, I'm cool. Let it go. You're 44 years old. They're a child. Let it be. But I can't with the cis. And I know it's a thing, but it's not a thing. It doesn't have to be a thing.
Yeah, everyone thinks they're a fucking expert on everything, and they think that they know everything that you've been through in your life and who you are as a person and all of your experiences. Just because occasionally you share a little story or a selfie or something on social media, they think they know everything about you. I remember once when I first started working at MAC Cosmetics when I was 19 years old, many, many years ago. I was so used to, I was just getting in that place of like comfortable faggotry where everything was, where I called everyone, oh, honey, oh, darling, oh, honey, and so I was just kind of getting into that. I was so young, and I remember with one of my customers who came up to me or was standing there waiting for my help, I went up to her and I was like, honey, can I help you with something? And she was quite a bit older than me. I mean, she probably was in her 40s because that's time in your life where I'm at right now where I just want to tell the kids to shut the fuck up. But she was basically like, what did you just call me? And I said, honey, can I help you? I am not your honey, she said to me. She's like, don't call me honey. I'm not your honey. That is the most condescending thing that you could say to me. So please don't call me honey. You are not my friend. You are not allowed to call me honey. So I never did it again. I just I was like, you know what? Maybe that does kind of sound a little condescending to people. Like, so maybe sis is the new honey or.
It is the new honey. I really think it is. But I think also too, I mean, that you're talking about before social media. And it was good that she corrected you. And
she did.
And she let you know, like, hey, you don't have to do that in order to be respected. But I think because of social media and because of even in this conversation alone, where you just said, I don't mind if people call me sis. And so what's going to happen is people are going to listen to that and they're going to go, see, Raja's the cool one and Delta's the bitch again. Because that's just the nature of that's the nature of it. And that's fine.
I just kind of take it, I take it with a grain of salt as it's happening.
Of course you do.
But in the back of my mind, I'm actually like, you're not my sis. You don't know me.
But our personalities, you're way more relaxed than I am anyway. So,
I smoke weed. Lots of
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke 2 joints in the morning. Smoke 2 joints at night.
Reefer
madness.
So honestly, girl, I mean, Thanksgiving is now. Like Thanksgiving is right now.
Get crazy. Like, that is so crazy.
Are you going to be doing family? Are you going to be
Can you first tell me
in Mexico?
Can you first tell me the exact date of Thanksgiving? I never know when Thanksgiving is. It's like
I believe
November.
It's November 24th? I could be wrong.
I think I'm gonna miss it.
26? 26.
Oh, maybe I will be home.
It's an even number, girl. It's an even number, sis.
Sis. Okay. So I will be home. I decided to lengthen my stay here in Puerto Vallarta because I wanted to see my Botox and filler doctor who doesn't return here until the 18th.
Okay.
I get those done. You judging?
No, but I was thinking, can you get, because I think I've talked about this with other people before. Can you get Botox in your balls so they're like nice and smooth. They're not all wrinkled all the time. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm so tired of shooting saline in them and having them touch my knees all the time. That only lasts a day. Ugh, I need something long term.
I think they can put like candle wax or floor wax in here.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if they do balls. I hear that you can actually put Botox underneath your jawline to relax that like little blah, 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 right there.
But see, why was I originally starting this conversation to talk about mashed potatoes and gravy, and then we started talking about saline injection and balls?
Because that's because that's the reason why I may miss Thanksgiving. But I think I'm getting home just the day before so that I can actually go and I don't know if I'm going to see my family. My mom's like of a certain age and she's not always feeling the best. And and she does now have a smartphone, which I'm very impressed with. My mom did not have a smartphone for years. She had like a flip phone for years. And so we finally got her a smartphone. So I think I'll be able to FaceTime her. And the rest of my family. They know that I'm always out of town anyway, especially during Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving to me is not the big priority as far as seeing family as much as Christmas might be. But I think my family's just kind of used to me being out of town and always doing something during Thanksgiving, either working or just avoiding an American holiday that I loathe. Yet another one.
No, I feel you with that. You know, Thanksgiving is a big holiday in my family, and we always split time between you know, of course, seeing friends as well. But this year, we won't be doing anything family gathering wise, just because we don't think it's a smart idea. And also because I know there are people that may be in attendance that are not as diligent about mask wearing and or the promotion of mask wearing. And so as much as I go to the grocery store from time to time or go to Ross from time to time, I'm not usually in a space with people who do not have a mask on consistently.
Yeah.
And I don't find that to be, you know, I'm just, listen, I'm letting the Centers for Disease Control recommendations tell me what I need to be doing right now. So I think that's where we all are and where we all should be anyway. I mean, we could talk about that forever, but we're going to take a little break and we will be right back with Very That.
Very That. All right, so we're back with Very That and the topic conversation between Delta and myself. I'm Raja. Right now is Thanksgiving, and I just want to say, as much as I don't like American holidays, I don't like to celebrate the colonization and, you know, the removal and killing of indigenous people in the United States of America. I do like the food, and I do love to cook Thanksgiving food. My thing is stuffing.
Me too. Me fucking too.
How do you like your stuffing? I usually like both kinds because that could be a Gemini thing. I like the very bland kind that like the family members like. And then I make a very special one of my own that includes Madeira wine. It includes dried apricot. It includes andouille sausage.
Ooh, yes, it does.
And cornbread.
Keep going.
And yeah, I put it's a cornbread stuffing with all of those things. And then occasionally just a bit of nut in there.
Not I love
not
nut.
Not nut. Not that kind of nut. I'm talking about like, you know, a nut like a walnut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay, I like that too.
Yeah, so it's got a little bit of fruitiness and sweetness, and then the richness of a little bit of Madeira wine, and then also the savoriness of a very meaty substance in there, but all kind of, you know, I like it chunky, flavored, and full of nut.
Ooh, bitch. You just said that's what I'm talking about. I love stuffing. I will say I generally I'm not a fan. I like stuffing that comes from a dish. I don't want it from inside the bird.
No, gross. That's so bad for you too. You could get like salmonella.
But I love that Thanksgiving for me. I specifically love all the side dishes. Like I could eat if somebody was like, we don't have any ham and turkey or whatever, that's fine. I love stuffing. I love mashed potatoes. Right? I love I'm not a big fan of the cranberries, but I like the music, but not well, anyway. I love ambrosia salad. Do you guys ever have ambrosia salad?
Ooh,
Yes, with the pistachio pudding, you
yes.
better. I
Yes.
love pie. I love all of that. I
Oh,
love
desserts. Give me desserts. Pie.
mm,
Pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie. Just pie. I love pie. I love pie more than I love cake.
yeah. See, I
Mm-hmm.
like cake more than I love pie, but
So,
I don't think I've turned down too many pies in my life. I love pie. But I love I also love getting the roll, like the dinner roll, and hollowing it out
oh,
and put the stuff inside of it, right? That's the
honey.
pre-tamale. That's the
Ooh.
pre-tamale. Right? I love it. Oh my God, it sounds so good.
I'm
But this year, I'm
hungry.
going to convince myself that all side dishes, this year, I'm going to, whatever we cook at home, just us, somehow I'm going to convince myself that cauliflower is stuffing, is mashed potatoes, is gravy, is fruit salad, is sweet potato pie, and you don't have to add any salt to it. So I'm going to convince myself of that this year.
Oh
I'll tell
God.
you how well it goes.
Yeah, I'll probably do an Instagram live of just me cooking food for myself, because
Nice.
or my neighbors might come over, neighbors that I've been isolating with for 8 fucking months.
Well,
So
those neighbors, based on what you were telling me about them exercising and all that stuff a lot, they are probably going to build up quite an appetite. So you're going to have a lot of work cut out for you because,
mm,
some of these gays are very well versed at the gym and all of that, and they earn those meals. So you got to make them a really good meal. You got to make these boys a really good meal because they deserve
well,
it.
not those ones, not
Oh,
those
not
ones.
those ones?
The fat ones, the ones that live downstairs.
Oh, well,
Those are
they
the ones that are
deserve
gonna
it
come
too.
over.
They deserve
Yeah,
it
they're
too.
coming over. They're coming over.
Well, I guess I can't come over, can I?
You are more than welcome to come over because I know you don't go nowhere but your house in Ross. Okay, let's see. From the annals of the inbox,
The
it says,
anals.
the annals of the inbox. Read this, please. I don't have
All
my
right. By
glasses
the way,
on.
if anybody wants to send us a letter, you can write to us at
Mm-hmm.
deltaandraja@gmail.com. That's where you
Mm-hmm.
can connect with us and send us a observation or a letter. But this is from Azul. Azul
Ooh.
said, "Hi, gals. I had a question for both of you and feel that you can relate to it. I'm half Hispanic and half white, but I have
Uh-huh.
blonde hair, blue eyes, and very pale skin. No one thinks that I'm part of my family when we're out in public. Not even,
Uh-huh.
and even Hispanic people will sometimes call me a gringo.
Uh-huh.
It makes me feel like I'm not supposed to participate in my culture, even though it's something I love. I was wondering what your opinions are on the topic. Since I don't look
Oh.
Hispanic, should I not participate in cultural activities? Should I not be allowed to have opinions on the way Hispanic people are treated in America? Because no one ever treats me this way. I may be wrong, but I believe Delta is also Latinx and passes for white. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Much love, Azul."
First of all, I've never looked at you and thought white.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because we're Southern California born and bred. And
Mm-hmm.
because we know what the faces of diversity look like in Southern California. We
Right.
know the difference between somebody who identifies as Mexican and someone who
Mm-hmm.
identifies as Chicano. There's a
Mm.
clear and concise difference in between
What
those
tell
things.
tell us the difference.
Well, the difference is that I am Chicano because I
Mm-hmm.
am born in the United States. My family comes from Mexico 3
Right.
generations ago, but I
Mm-hmm.
was born and raised here. And I have many people who will question, and of course, these are people outside of understanding our cultures, our various
Mm-hmm.
cultures, that don't believe that everyone, or that believe that everyone who is Hispanic or under the umbrella of Hispanic should look a certain way. You should
Mm-hmm.
look
Mm-hmm.
a certain way. And that actually is amplified in our own community. 1
Mm-hmm.
million
Mm-hmm.
percent. And I'm here to tell you, like, for instance, just an example. How many times have you been to Mexico to actually work for a gig? You've been there to Mexico before, have you not?
Yes,
You've
multiple
been,
times. Yeah,
yeah,
I've
I've never been invited to Mexico. I've never been booked in
Hmm.
Mexico. I've never had a conversation with anyone from Mexico because for one of two reasons. Number one, I'm just not popular enough, and that's totally fine. Number
Damn,
two,
sis.
when those Latin tours happen, I'm not considered because as somebody who is not fluently bilingual, I'm considered to be shunning the community. I'm considered to be somebody who's trying to be pocho, who's trying to be a coconut, who's trying to be brown on the outside and white on the inside. And that is not the case. I remember when I won my Emmy, I remember thinking to myself, wow, I feel proud of what I've done for myself, for my family, and the representation as a Hispanic, Latino, Chicano, queer person. And not one person raised an eyebrow or said, we should talk about this on social media. We should talk about the importance of this. Nobody did that. Why? Because I look pink. I don't look brown. And for them, that's not enough. So, people think like I've used to not impersonate, but I used to do like a Selena number, lots of Selena numbers. And people would always be like, oh, that's so cute that you do that. That's so fun that you do that. But I would never get booked to go on these nights where other people are doing Selena because people are like, well, she's Mexican and you're not. Well, Selena's not from Mexico and I'm not from Mexico. And the story of Selena is the story of an American girl.
Yes, please forgive me if I'm incorrect in this, but from what I understand, Selena did not actually speak fluent Spanish. Like that wasn't.
No, she had to learn to speak it in order to sing it.
Or
vice versa.
Right.
But so what happens is the face of our community, and Azul is right. People within our own community, and you will attest to this as well, in the Asian community, there is a hierarchy. There is if you are this type of Asian, you are considered better. If you are this type of Asian, you are is that not true? It is true.
It is absolutely true. And, for as long as I've been doing drag and for as long as I've lived, to be honest with you, no one has really truly been able to guess what I am. They always sort of make assumptions. If I'm in a place like where I'm here right now in Mexico, people will, immediately speak Spanish to me and not assume that I'm immediately American. Let's say I'm in Hawaii and I go to the ABC store. They'll immediately just give me a discount because they think that I am Hawaiian.
Sure.
But there are moments that I understand with Azul. For instance, there, for a while, especially in the early 2000s and through the 90s, there were Asian specific nights, and they still exist.
Yes.
Where Asians, it's an Asian theme night, and it's for all the what do they call them? Potatoes and rice queens, and there's names for all of it. People who chase after Asian young Twinkie boys, But I was never considered Asian enough,
right?
Because
never.
First of all, I'm 6'3", I'm brown as fuck. My eyes aren't completely slanted, and I don't fit into the stereotype that has been created for Asian people, which is the more diminutive and sort of passive, and I've never fit into that. I've always felt like my place in the world is the world. Like I have been able to kind of encompass all sorts of different ethnicities, and I don't know, and again, I'm still learning through all of this. I first learned about the words cultural appropriation after I was on Drag Race. It wasn't something that was as discussed as it is now, and I am learning, and I'm being very careful and tedious around it, but I know that no one can tell me what my life experiences are and who the fuck I am. No one can tell me. I grew up in La Puente, California. I was born in Baldwin Park. Spent a good amount of my life in a very primarily Latin and Black neighborhood, mostly Hispanics or AKA Chicanos, So that's what I grew up around. And even in my first years of doing drag, those are the queens I hung around. I did not hang around with a bunch of white queens in West Hollywood. I hung out with, cholas and cholos who were also queer, who also did drag, and we went to the clubs that we were accepted at, which was the arena, which is circus. Yes,
Miss Martin, Glamora.
Yes,
all the dolls at Oz, Viva, all of these people. I think Azul asks, should you not participate in cultural activities? No, I think you should participate in all of those activities. I think it's absolutely true that there are people that are going to slight you, that are going to think that you are doing something that you're not doing. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, and it continues, and it's It's amplified by our own community because our own community doesn't step up to say the faces of our community are vastly different and come from a lot of different places, but we all are in fact proud and should have every right to be proud.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And Azul, don't let anybody tell you who you are and just be yourself. You know who you are. And as long as you know that you're not disrespecting anybody or doing anything that goes against, doing something that's deliberately racist, then you're fine. Just live your life. Fuck everybody. Just keep going. That's
I could sit here and talk about this all day long with the examples, but Azul is one of many people that feel this way. Many people that feel this way. And it's so sad because it just keeps us down. It
really does. It's all about celebrating, participating, have a good time with it. We're not here to make fun of people or make any race less than the other or whatever.
Well, I'm here to make fun of some people. Not because of what they look like or what their ethnic group is, but if they're just goddamn stupid. But I think we should take a break.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, we'll take a break and we will be right back with Very That. Yes. We are back with Very That with Delta and Rasha. We are, we're just shooting the shit about what we always do. This we start talking about something like, oh, this is what's on my mind, and then suddenly we're talking about saline in your balls, or we're talking about nut in your side dishes. I mean, you just never know.
Oh my God, oh God, with saline, we're gonna have to have a special episode just talking about fetishes alone.
I would love. I'm very intrigued.
It would have to be like 2 or 3 part series on fetishism.
I feel like the fear of sexuality or the fear of fetishes is people internalize that and then they start to feel bad about themselves and they don't, and we haven't really taught people or come to the place certainly not in the United States of America where people can be free to know that like sex is fun. It can be just fun. It can just be maybe there's a separation for some people of like pleasure and love, and I can get into all of that. But
I think it takes a while for people to get used to certain fetishes. Like I never understood the fuzzies. Is that what they're called? What are they called when they
furries?
Furries. I never understood furries. I'm still grasping the idea of like pup and master. Like when there's like a puppy pen. I've been to like the Eagle and there's like a pen of guys in dog masks and it takes time for people to understand it. But like for instance, I enjoy fucking a block of government cheese.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not yet. They're not into that yet.
Well, that's like a nut cheese. That's very vegan to do that. And I think there's nothing wrong with crossing the lines between like health and sexuality. And also, we talk about the furries. There's a group of people that put on a furry event before a pandemic over at Executive Suite here in Long Beach. And it's one of the biggest events, one of their biggest nights. They have nothing but fun and it's a blast. And I think a lot of it, I don't know enough about all of this stuff, but I do know that in my mind, sex fetishes and roles, I think have everything to do with a power play on some level, even if doesn't seem directly about power. There is a give and take that has to happen, and it's fun. It's fun.
This conversation is a perfect segue right into our season.
Oh, you want to talk about fetishes? This is very fetishy.
This goes out to all the foot fetishists out there. First of all, why am I standing all pigeon-toed like that?
Well, because we were doing something, we were purposely showing off our feet at this.
Were we? I never saw off my feet.
We're at one of the remember when Drag Race used to have big premieres at nightclubs at the Abbey, Club 11, Rage, all over the place. We would get done up and we would go. And this is at one of those red carpets. You and I are on the red carpet. You can even see there's the card there. And you are wearing a platformed ankle boot, gold, open toe, all of it. All of it is happening. And this is very telling of who we are in our personalities, shoe wise. Is it not? Because if you look at your shoe and you look at this is about what the speed is. Raja usually will go for a platformed shoe, a really tall heel, something that doesn't look like that's not a shoe that you could buy, at the mall. There's usually you do something
not in
to
my
your
size.
shoes.
Not in my size.
But you usually do something to your shoes. You'll paint them or you'll personalize them.
Embellish.
This is me wearing these are ankle strapped rhinestone shoes with I know they have a clear heel.
Woman.
Yeah, woman feet, lotioned up. Nope, neither one of us have pantyhose on in this. But
that's how long ago it was. This is an old fucking picture. If you asked me to shave my fucking legs today, I would tell you to jump off a fucking high cliff and no, that's not happening.
I mean, unless there's money involved for one of the fetishes, because we're trying to make money in new ways now. So if you see something here you like and you want me to oil up my feet and do things, I mean,
Oh, I gotta tell you one of my favorite things here in Puerto Vallarta. I haven't I don't know if I said this last time, but you can get a clinical pedicure here. It's actually done.
About this.
Yeah. It's actually done in a small hospital situation, and you have to make an appointment for it. There are no nail polishes on the wall. You do not soak your feet in a tub of water, and instead, the nurses, they are actually nurses, go right in there and just start chiseling away with drills, scalpels, tools that you would never ever
I'm
see.
scared.
No, it's wonderful. And the cost alone, I mean, I pay $50 sometimes for a pedicure, manicure, and then I tip my girl really well. This is a fraction of all of that, including the tip. They don't even want tip because this is actually a clinical thing. And I got it done like a few days ago, and my feet, I actually couldn't walk because my feet were not used to, I had so much callus at the bottom of my feet. After 7 months of not having a pedicure, bitch, my feet were not used to the feeling of the ground below me. I was walking like a newborn baby giraffe, trying to find its way through the placenta.
Oh my God.
Yes, that's what I felt like.
Did you ever have a ped egg? Do you remember the ped egg? It's like to
of
scrub your
course
feet.
I remember the ped egg.
Well, I remember Philip and Jules had the ped egg, and they were just gnawing at their feet with that thing one day, and they were like, oh yeah, this feels so great. And one of them got up to go do something and could not walk because the feet felt like they were going to start bleeding. Because so much had been done. That sounds like this experience.
Well, my feet were not bleeding, but they were. They definitely did not remember because there was such a thick layer. There was literally a thick layer of leather that had built up over 8 months. And Mama Tits was here watching me walk from one end of the room to the other, and she's like, "Why are you walking like that? Are you okay?" And I'm like, I forgot what the ground felt like.
Wow.
Here is the ground, and now I'm feeling it, and I feel wonderful. So, yeah. Well, definitely, we need those in California. Absolutely.
I think I do, but my thing is when I get a pedicure, I like when they have the towel down at your feet, and then they're really getting in on the side, and they pull out that full root of something.
Ew!
And it's white, and it's not wet or bloody or anything. It's just like a root, like a celery or something. And they set it down and look at you, kind of like a cat bringing you a mouse.
They place it on the top of your foot.
And they kind of look at you like, you see what I've done for you? Do you see what I've done for you?
This is what I've done. Yeah. So you're going to tip me well.
You.
I love you. I just pulled out a full spring onion out of your toe.
Because I love you. Because I would do that for you. That's what they're telling you. And so you feel like shit if you're not like, God, I need to tip 50%. I need to go in.
The cat analogy is my favorite. It just left you a dead rat or a dead bird. Oh my God.
That's what
they do. But you know what? I got to tell you, those shoes right there, I wore them maybe I got them at this little drag store in Arizona, in Phoenix. Did we do that gig
remember
together?
The place.
We did that gig together.
We did.
I bought them there. They were originally, I think, red. And I painted them gold because it had to somehow go with my outfit. Bitch, when I tell you that night when I got home, the entire shoe had just obliterated. Like it disappeared. Yeah, it was like, it turned into a cloud. It just became not a shoe anymore.
Fuck.
They no longer exist. They are in the trash. And, but yeah, those shoes are no longer there. Do you still wear shoes like that,
I still have
though?
these shoes.
What's that? Do?
I still have them because they were made by Pleaser, and I bought them at Tony's Shoes. Remember Tony's Shoes?
Oh my God.
And they were made by Pleaser, and I think they were called their line of shoes like that were called Caress. And it was a plain 4-inch, no platform. And they had it where these were nude with rhinestones, but they had hot pink with rhinestones, black with rhinestones. And they were good stones. They were expensive shoes. I like them. I quite like those shoes.
You know, I'm going to call someone out really quick. I'm going to call out Maya of Maya Shoes on Hollywood Boulevard. Now's the time. We have waited almost 30 fucking years, and now we have a platform to call out our foot oppressors. Listen, Maya Shoes on Hollywood Boulevard, which is right next to Outfitter Wigs, very close to World of Wonder. You need to get yourself together because you cannot charge all that money now for a size 13 or 14 shoe.
No.
She would add $25 if your feet were larger than an 11. And if it were larger than a 13, you would add 10. She would add 10 to it. And the prices now, you can get all of those shoes online for a fraction of the price, and the bitch is still trying to do it. So you know what? Back in the day, I would tolerate it. But in 2020, going into 2021,
never.
Fuck you, Maya.
Well, and also fuck you, Maya, because I would go in there and I would know exactly what I needed. I'd say, hey, I need this shoe in a size 11. I would tell her what it was, and she would come out with something different. And I would go, I think I got the wrong one. And she would go, oh, okay. She'd come back, bring something else out. And I go, Maya, this is not the shoe. And she would say, I'm not bringing that shoe out to you. You'll break it. She said that to me 3 different times.
Yourself. She really said that?
And I was like, Maya, I realize that I'm a behemoth inside of a shoe, but I know how to walk without breaking it. Like, she would always bring me the shoe with the heel this thick. And I'm like, baby, I don't wear shoes like that. I don't wear that shoe. I wear this shoe.
Oh my God.
She would say that to me. You're going to break it.
I don't mean to ruin small businesses during a pandemic as such.
But girl, fuck Maya.
But we've been dealing with her for ages, and I actually haven't bought a shoe from her in a really long time.
Fuck Maya.
No, fuck Maya, man.
Fuck all that.
Fuck her.
You see something? I see something.
I see Maya charging way too much.
Girl,
that's what I see.
Have an attitude on top of it. If I want to break the shoe, I'll break the shoe. I'll pay for it. I'm gonna
throw the shoe out the door and let the fucking cars run over it. And then I'm gonna leave.
Then leave. Then leave.
So fuck Maya and fuck her damn shoes.
Maya. Well, you know what? Listen, I want to thank everyone for listening to Very That with me and Raja. We are here every Monday. Our episodes drop every Monday, so we want you to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you procure your podcasts, wherever you listen. And if you don't just listen, you can, of course, watch us. But yeah, look for us. Very That.
Very That. Subscribe. Yes.
And also, if you rate this shit, people will find out more about it. And we want people to hear us. We want people to share in our craziness. So, if you subscribe and rate the podcast, they're going to find out about it. It's really, really important. So share your thoughts on that.
Yes. On a level of 1 to 10 of tomfoolery, we are probably at about a 9.5 of tomfoolery, and the rest is glamour.
9.5.
And the rest is glamour. Not in my fucking
Damn. Also, you can follow us on social media. Raja is at Sutanamrul on Instagram. I am Delta Work on Instagram. So follow us there. You can, sometimes of course, you can see this podcast as we create it on YouTube. It comes out the same day that it comes out on podcast apps, but you can see it on YouTube. But also, sometimes we post these pictures. So if you're maybe not watching it, but you want to see them, sometimes you'll see them on our social media as well. Yes. So we will be back next week with another podcast of Very That.
Love you. Bye, Sass.
We'll see you next week. Sass. We love you. And it's Very That. Nut in your gut.
Not in my stuffing.
Ugh.
Forever Dog.
To listen to Very That ad-free, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcast.com/plus.
Very That is produced by Forever Dog and Moguls of Media, aka Mom.
Hosted by Delta Work and Raja.
Music, sound design, and editing by Will Pitts.
Produced by Big Dipper.
Executive produced by Willem Belli, Alaska Thunderfuck, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey.